Okay, so manipulating the DOM is very easy. This is a quiz application. And then what have we successfully done? We've successfully created our HTML structure, which we would use in giving a good output of our quiz. Now, in doing that, we want to successfully ask questions and then temporarily store the score, and then at the end of the questions we now have our answers. Now, in this quiz we'll be using the for each method. We'll be using an if else statement. We'll be using we'll be using a for each method. We'll be using an on-click function. We'll be using an if else statement to actually get everything right. So let's make progress. We successfully grab our IDs and then stored them in our script.js, which is this three: question, answer, and next btn. As you can clearly see on this HTML structure. So now let's create our functions. So as usual, we'll create a function that loads the question. So function no. Document const btn. I think that would be wrong. Let's use create element. Document dot. What's okay? Let me use this. Quiz data current question. Thank you.
Sir, we can't
Sir,
hear
we
any.
can't hear any.
I'm not saying anything. I'm trying to solve the assignment so that I can explain at the end.
All
Are you
right.
are you scared? Are you scared that I've left? You know now. I'm trying to solve the assignment. Then at the end I explain. I'm almost done. Don't worry, I'm with you. Okay, there is this. Okay, so we have our option is okay. So have this option. As L dot inner HTML, okay, equals to the current quiz the question. Okay, we're on track. Current question, current current quiz, function load question. All right, this is where the error is coming from. And I was wondering what was happening. Correct. Yes. So this is the headache we usually have when programming. My code was actually showing red, and I'm wondering what's the issue. What is that bug that is actually giving me? Why is it showing red? So just for me to check, I said let me. Once I was done typing at the end here, I said let me check what's really happening with this function. Did I make any mistake? So I went through from down to up, and I checked that the parenthesis argument, it's not complete. It's supposed to be, so if you check, it's supposed to be actually like this, and this was the missing link. Now, most times it can get frustrating. Thank God for the advent of AI now, that you can, and if your code is even much, most times you cannot actually do that. So imagine this is just 38 lines of code. Imagine you having up to like on 1,000 lines. Like I have a code here that is almost, this is like going to how many lines? This is like if not up to, this is 150. I think one of them should be, yeah. So if you're looking at almost like 2,000 or 3,000 lines of code, then just one single full stop would be missing, and you'll be asking yourself, what's the issue? But I did everything correctly. So most times it's good for you to actually review what you've written and see where is actually causing issues. Now back to what we are doing. I've created a function that loads the question up on the interface. So what the question does is, what this function does is, it picks up the ID and then the current question, which is what we've created here. So what it does is it iterates, just like I taught you guys for each yesterday. It will go inside this array, this quiz data, and pick up each of the question one by one. So if you check where you see that I picked up the quiz data and I stored it inside this variable, right? So it will pick up each of the quiz data one by one and then display them. After you click on next, it would just be going just like that. So we are on track, we are making progress. The next thing we'll do is to create a function that would select answer. So the function should be able to select answer of each of the questions that would be selected. So we can call this function, yeah, function select answer, and then inside the argument parenthesis we can say selected, because that's what it would be doing, and then we go on. So who const correct correct equals to quiz data current question dot correct. Yeah. So and the next thing we'll do is write if else statement. If selected, which is the argument there, is triple equals to correct, then what should it do? Then it should add the score. It should do an increment of the score. Like if the answer is correct, for each question you answer and then the answer is correct, what it should do, it should now increment your score by 1. So each time you answer a correct answer, it should what? Add a score. Or it should add 1, 2, 3 to your score. So, but then let's also add a contingency plan of that of this function. So let's do current question plus, where's my plus? So am I not saying okay, plus. It's already half the time. What we'll do is for the toggle button, which this week we are having our vibe coding when we will come on the group call and then pick a particular project that we can randomly choose. Please, if you're joining the call, join in with your laptop, please, because we'll create a GitHub repo and everybody, including me, will contribute to it. We will just build something without seriously looking at it. So we'll just answer ourselves and then interact with ourselves and teach ourselves. So maybe during that, before we start doing that, we'll just do the second assignment. Yeah, so let's continue. Let's wrap up this. So if current question is else, show results.
Hello,
So
sir.
that's
Please. I want to interrupt you. My network was so bad.
don't interrupt me, please. There's no time. This is 3:46. Please. Mudashiru, not now. Thank you. We have other people on the call. If your network interrupts you, it's not our fault, please. So now, we've created a function that would actually increment your score if the answer is correct. We've also created a function that loads each question anytime you click on next. Now, the next thing is to create a function that would show results, which we kept the show result function here, but there's nothing happening. So write function show results, function show results So I'm going to be teaching this thing today, this template literal today. That's okay. Using backtick. Um so we can actually use all right. I think this is okay. This is enough. Okay. For those who joined late, we are trying to wrap up our assignment and solve it. So what I did was create my HTML structure that displays the quiz in its entirety. Yes, so I created my HTML structure, I and my normal CSS, and then this is the JS part of it. I created an array of quiz data that has different questions I want people to answer. The first question of who is the president of Nigeria, then these are the options, and this is the correct answer inside of it. Same goes for the rest. I did same thing for the next two questions. Now, to be able to iterate through this data, remember what I taught you guys yesterday. Remember what I taught you guys yesterday, iteration. Sadly, I did not teach you guys for each method before I gave you guys the assignment. So using for each method, we're able to look over this data and then push the questions one after the other. Just like I told you guys yesterday, as a human being, you wake up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you bath, you eat, you wear your clothes, and you head out. It's like an activity you do over time. Same happens. So the next thing I created was two variables that would store zero. These variables will store in data of zero, meaning you, in case, just in case someone fails entirely, you should have a default zero. And aside that, your score, everyone's score would actually begin from zero. Now, it all depends on you. In what way do you want to increase your score? you want to increase your score by actually answering the correct questions. The more you answer the correct questions, the more this let score equals to 0 increments. And what does the increment operator does? It adds 1 to your score each time you answer a question. The next thing we did was to manipulate the DOM using the DOM manipulation methods, documents.get elements by ID, documents, the document methods you already know. And we're able to grab the 3 IDs, ID of question, ID of answer, and ID of next button. The next thing I did was to create a function. And what is this function doing? This function is to pick up, this function loads up a question. Yes, so this function loads up a question and then passes in the next question after you answer that question. Yes, so I use the text content and I first of all created a new element called button, and then whenever you're done, it pushes out the answer. Sorry, checks if you answer the correct answer and then it moves over to the next. Now, the next thing is to select a function that actually confirms that you selected the right answer. Yes, did you really answer the correct answer? So this function actually handles that using if-else statement. So each time you select a correct answer, it increments the score. Remember, score plus plus. Remember, we created a variable called score plus plus. And then at the end, we want to be able to show the result of what the person has done using the function show result. We also use a event listener to actually add to our next BTN ID, which we created at this particular top, next BTN. So at the end of everything, we should be able to see the person's full result. Let's check and see what we've done thus far. Okay, we have a bug here. Let me check this. So next BTN. Okay, next BTN. Let me check our scripts. Yes, because this was showing me that this is not in use. So let me confirm where our error is coming from. Const BTN function.
The ID for the answers.
Oh, yes, but I don't think that's where the issue is coming from. That's I'm coming. Yeah, you're correct. You're correct, but I think our button is still unused. Our button is still unused. That should work even without. Our button is still unused, so that's not the issue.
Like the document dot get element by ID. The answer
Are we supposed to
answers.
Okay,
Go
I
add
think
S.
it's not right.
No. I've corrected it. You can see that I've corrected. All I did was add S here. so that it corresponds. I am currently checking the button. Our issue is just on our button. I think that's where I'm trying to figure out the button.
Sir, I observed something on the HTML. There is the CSL, the styling. You did not add the link. You did not link it to the HTML.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Nice, 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 nice. So let me just cross-check again. I know our code is correct. Something might just be missing. The question answers the inner HTML current quiz dot options for each. All right. Transmitting create element button nice. Creating a new element option. Okay.
Therefore, each response.
What did you say?
Options.
Yeah, I removed the.
Then check the last line. The answer to something is on there.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly. It's supposed to be. Yes, you're correct. Answers. So it's little this thing we are missing here. So there's still an error. There's still an error I'm trying to trace. There's still an error I'm trying to trace between. Okay. Select speed is selected. Okay, let's test it first. Something is still wrong. I'm missing out on a particular, and it's on the button. I'm missing out on.
Do we have any click event on that button?
You said?
Click event on that button.
Click, yes, there's a click event. Yeah, look at it down.
Okay.
Oh, this is my error. Next button. Yes, wait, hold on. Then I think this is where my error comes in. This ID, next BTN. Okay, no, I think that's correct. Next BTN dot add event listener, click load question, and answers L, next BTN dot style. Show result. So if this is correct, current question plus plus, if current question is okay, quiz data dot length, else show results. Let me see what it's logging. Let me see what the logs are. Inspect. All right. Current quiz is not defined. Okay. So this is where our error is coming from. Current quiz is not defined. Thank you. All right. So current quiz, where are you? Our array is perfectly well. Okay, let's current question. Okay. Okay. Current question current quiz dot question. Current quiz.
I want to check
Okay,
the
question L
ID
dot.
you use for the answer in the HTML. You add S to that one. For this one, there's no S here.
The one I used on the HTML.
Yes,
No,
the
it's
answers.
hold on, let me confirm that. Okay, you're right. You're right. It's called debugging.
Hello, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Sir, current quiz and current question. I don't know the
I
same
have
thing.
seen, yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen where the issue is
I'm
coming
current
from.
question.
This is where our issue is coming from. This is current quiz. Yes, so this is where our issue is current. Sorry. Yeah, this should work now. Yes, exactly. So let's check now. All right. Unexpected token at okay. All right. But I did not write any score now. Why is this giving me all the answers? It's logging out all our answers. Let me check. Let me check. So there's a missing link happening here. Our quiz is logging out our answers. Let me check. So from one little error to another, let me check my console. Who is the okay? See the first question. What's happening here? Why is my quiz behaving? Why is my quiz behaving anyhow? I can see the first question. Who is the president of Nigeria? Console. Let me go to my console. This is the wrong time to call me. Who is the president of Nigeria? Let me check. So there's a missing. My namings are the issues now. What I used for the namings is actually what is the issue. Let me just check that everything is corresponding. So on my HTML, I used question, answers, next btn. So let me confirm that. Quiz data perfectly well. Question, options, correct. Question, okay. Let current question equals to 0. We are almost close. Question answers btn, nice. Question answers btn. Next btn, which is correct. The IDs are correct. So let's go into our functions. Our functions are okay. Our functions. The first function is function load question, which is current quiz equals to quiz data current question. Perfectly well. Question L dot text perfectly well. Answers L, okay, good, answers L. So this is correct. Answers L. Question L, which is correct. So over to the next. Current quiz dot options for each options. Const button equals to create element, good. btn option answers. Okay.
That one is answers, sir.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, answers. Answers L, which is perfect. Append. Okay. Then let's go back to the functions of select correct answer. So correct equals to quiz data current question dot correct. Load question show results. Function show results. Question L text beautiful. This is correct. Answers L. Next btn none. Next btn load questions. Let's see. Hmm. What could be the missing link? Okay. Blue options, questions. Quiz data dot correct. And we are not having any log. So this is the pattern, right? We are supposed to have the first question displaying. We are supposed to have the first answered question, sorry, the first question displaying, like who is the president of Nigeria. So the funny thing is coding, okay, no errors. I don't have any errors. So what could be the answer? Meanwhile, while we are on that, let's begin for today. This should just hold on first. I'll come back to this. I'm missing out on just one little thing. Who is the president of Nigeria? This is how it's supposed to display with a button under. So you have to answer it, then you should go back to the next question. So while we are on that, let's just be doing what we have for today so that this doesn't consume our time for today's class. So I'll just let me comment out this. We'll come back to this. Yeah, we'll come back to this. Let's do something for today. Okay, so I've commented out our code. I'll come back and then check on them. Something is missing. It's almost 5, and if we don't get to learn what we have for today, I've missed out. There's a little issue going on, just a slight issue, and it's our naming. Our naming. Question, answer. Something is really missing. So while we are on that, let's treat our first topic for today so that we can cover that. We can actually go back to this after we've learned what we have for today. So for today, we are actually treating templates literals. Template literals. Now, template literals are actually used when you want to actually achieve the aim of iterating over. Let's say you want to create multiple strings in a data, in a JS data, and you want to be able to do a whole lot, so multi-line strings, template literals actually act as that enablement to actually carry out multiple lines of strings. I would explain and also show us what it also means. You can do a whole lot with template literals. You can do a whole lot with template literals. Template literals also allow you, what's the right word? It allows you create long list of data. So for instance, I think let me write out an example so that I show us what I mean. Now, template literals is a powerful feature in JavaScript. I'm trying to find the perfect definition. It allows you to create multiple strings with embedded expressions inside of them. Template literals are powerful. Is a powerful feature in JavaScript that allows you to create strings with embedded expressions inside of them. So for instance, let's say you have, I used a template literal in this quiz whole assignment I'm trying to solve. Where is it again? Okay, look at it here. I used it here in this question l.text content. So you can have something like this. Let me calm down. Const name equals to John.
Hello, sir. We cannot see your screen.
No one can see my screen again.
The other one.
Can anyone see my screen?
I can see
Mudachi,
your screen, sir.
Mudachi, which network have you been using?
Asking, but I'm talking of who is the first person. You are still on the who is the first person.
Who is the
And
first
then-
person?
That's where you see.
Mudashiru, please, I don't know, you're the only one having this issue. I just want to achieve. Today we have 4 things to learn: template literals, ternary and spread operators, and then destructuring. The reason why I'm rushing is I want to be able to introduce React in time so that you guys can get used to it. So all these concepts, ingredients we are picking up is to actually create React applications. I don't, if I'm building a front end project, let me just tell you guys, we currently, I use Next.js and React. Next.js and React is, I think let me use this opportunity to prepare your mind before we go on so that we take it all serious. Now, Next.js and React is React is a framework of JavaScript. React is a framework of JavaScript. It's like a mother who has a child. It's like a mother who has a child. So that child is like the representation of the mother, right? The child can still go for functions. If maybe a mother or a father is invited for, or let's leave it at that. Let's look at maybe a president of a nation. If a president of a nation is invited for a function and he can't make it, he would likely send his vice. His vice is also a representation of the country, right? Although he's not the president. That's how it is. So React is like a child of JavaScript. It makes it fun. It is fun writing React with JS embedded inside of it. Don't worry. When we get there, you learn and see how everything works. So I don't write crude JS for over 2 years plus. I don't, unless maybe when it's needed using PHP and all of that. I don't write all of these JS I'm teaching you is to actually prepare you to learn a framework called React. React is what you would be using to create web pages. Yes. So these concepts I'm teaching you are needed for you to be able to understand how to write code in React. React is a technology inside of JavaScript. It's a framework technology inside of JavaScript used for developing web pages. After this class, I want you to do me a favor by going over to your Google and whatever research tool you use to research about React. Now, mind you, we won't be teaching it for long. I'll just teach you the basics and then so that you can use it to do your final project. Yes, so that's what I'll be doing because of the time frame. But after the time you have with me, you could still be having a class. That's why I want to establish this our in between the week class, not really a class, but a kind of a community meetup where we would come on class, solve problems, and do things together, right? So it's going to be fun. Yeah, so don't be bothered, don't be discouraged that maybe after the cohort you won't be able to learn further. Just relax. Everything seems hard, but with time it will get more easy. Yes, it will get more easier. So let's continue with what we are doing. So template literals are actually is a powerful feature in JavaScript that enables you create strings with embedded instructions inside of them. Now, for example, let's say you have these two variables, const age equals to 35. Now, these are two variables. Now, let's write a template literal out of them. This is how to write a template literal. So I'll create another variable called greeting. Now, mind you, this does not count. When creating a template literal, it's not compulsory that you should add this variable or create this variable. You can put in a template literal inside of anything. Yes, so this doesn't count. You can see that this template literal here was actually embedded inside this text content question L stuff. So it's not like you must actually create a variable to go with it. No. So this is how a template literal works. Now on your keyboard, you see the key before the number one key. Just press it. You'll see something like this. It's called backticks. It's called backtick. It's called backtick. Now, using the backtick, you use template literals are enclosed inside of backticks. Yes. Now, when you write this backtick, it is now inside of it now that you now write your template literal. Now, inside of this variable called greeting, you would now have hello, my name is name. Now this will sound funny. My name is name, and I am age, and then is old. Full stop. So what have we been able to achieve? Disregard this minus shown on this name. There's a deprecation going on. So what we've successfully done is we created three variables. One called name, and it stores in the name John. A second one called age. And it stores in the 35 number of age. Now we created a third variable called const greeting. You can see, hello, my name is. Now, for you to be able to use a template literal, at each point you want to embed an expression, you must use the $sign and then the curly brace, and then inside of it you now put whatever variable you're picking up. So you can still have the same thing here. So you can see that we did the same thing for age, we did the same thing for name. So let's see what our output would be. Our output would be, okay, no, I didn't log this. Sorry. Let me log this. So I have console.log greetings. Yeah, so I will log this out on my terminal, notescript.js. So you can see, hello, my name is John. I am 35 years old. This is how you create a template literal. A template literal just enables you to actually create multiple strings, embed an expression inside of it, perform string interpolation. You can insert values into the strings using the $sign, the dollar symbol or sign, and then your curly braces attached to it. So please, whenever you're doing this, once the dollar symbol is out of it, it's no longer a template literal. Whenever you know you would include a template literal, ensure to start the beginning of the string with a backtick instead of a double quote. Yes. So instead of a double quote, use a backtick. But you can still use, when you use the backtick, you can also use a double quote inside of it. No problem. It will still be accepted. So you can see. So it actually enables you to do flexibility, have multiple lines of strings. Without, you remember, before this, without this backtick, if you want to have multiple lines of strings on inside one variable, you would have to now be using the concat method. Did I teach concatenation here? You have to have the concat method, which enables you to join multiple strings together, and that is it makes your whole code looks ambiguous. So whenever you want to actually have multiple lines of strings, you use the template literal method. The template literal method allows you to embed expressions using the dollar symbol and then the curly braces. Yes, so you can see that our output was, hello, my name is John, I am 35 years old. Yeah, so the key feature of it is, what are the benefits? Template literals can make your code more readable. It has this convenience it brings. It simplifies string concatenation. It allows your code readable. It makes your code more readable. So ensure to use best practices like this. Now let's create an object so that we can practice more of this literal. So we can have something like const. So we have something like const user. So we can have const user name. So we've created an object that has a name and a age. We've created, so an object actually allows you to store in this kind of value. So instead of creating, the other one we created, we have to create two variables to store name and age. So with an object, you can just store in name, age. You can even add more, maybe education, something like education. You can add unilag. You can add unilag. So exactly. So you can see name Jane, age 25, education unilag. This is how an object looks like. Now let's use a template literal to actually make it more sense. So const bio. So my name is, I will not pick up that name, user.name. So user.name, you can see user.name. It will not pick up this Jane here. Then going further, I would see, I'm not done yet. Okay, user.name, and I am user.age, user.age. I am user.age years old, and I schooled in Unilag. Sorry. So $sign, remember $sign, curly braces, and then education. Now let's see what. So let me break this into two. Huh?
User.education.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. Beautiful. Shows that we are all following. So user.name, user.age, user.education. Don't mind me, as I'm on this call, immediately after this class, I'm jumping into a project. So my mind is everywhere. So user.education, user.name, user.age. Now let's output this object and see what the output is. Node script.js. So we have, I didn't plug this out. Oh God help me. God help me. Console.log value. Yeah. Node script.js. So we can see that we have a very fine and readable output from our object. My name is Jane, and I'm 25 years old, and I schooled Unilag. This is this for template literal. We've been able to create an object, iterate over it, give it an output with a template literal, and then log it out. Does this make sense? Does anyone have any question from this? Is there any question in regards to this template literal before we move over to the next? Does anyone have any question? All right, so the next thing we'll move over to now is our ternary operator. Ternary operator. Ternary operator. Now, what's a ternary operator? A ternary operator is a concise way of writing conditional statements. Just like I told you guys yesterday, arrow functions are very short, concise, and then more readable. It's a very short form of you writing functions. So ternary operator is actually a more concise way of writing conditional statements in JavaScript. The basic syntax is very simple. Let me write out the syntax. This is how the syntax writes. Am I too fast? I don't know if I'm too fast. If you're not, you could just unmute your mic and speak with me in case I get too fast, please. We've thought about template literal now, so the next thing I'm doing is the ternary operator. Now, remember I taught you guys conditional statements. Yes, so now a ternary operator is a short form for writing those if else and whatever we were using to actually create conditional statements. If else, if this is this, then else, then this, all those. So a ternary operator is a more short form for writing those conditions just on one line. Just on one line. Now let's do something. So first thing that comes is the condition. What is the condition of that particular code you want to write? The next thing is the value. Are you performing a Boolean operation? If the condition is false, the expression should return value if false. If the condition is true, the expression should return if true. First of all, the first thing is the condition. The condition is evaluated as true or false. The condition is evaluated as true or false. Common use cases is the ternary operations to assign value must be based on conditions. Keep it simple, use parentheses and then do your thing. Now let's give an example. Let me comment this so that it doesn't read that as our code. But it's actually correct. It's actually correct. So the first thing I'll do is create const age, and I'll store maybe an age of 30. I'm 30 years old. The next thing I'll do now is to actually perform the ternary operator. So I'll do const. No. Let's use this 18 years old. That'll be more explanatory. So if the user is not 13 years old, don't even allow the user. So const status. I'll create this and say const status equals to age. Now let me explain. Console.log status. Right? Are you canceling me? All right. So let's continue. Don't mind this telling me status is deprecated. Let's leave that aside. Now look at this. First things first, we created a variable called const age, and it's stored in a data of 18. Now we went further. If age is less than 18 or equals to, if it is less than 18 or equals to 18, it should output minor. It should just output minor. If it is, the age we gave it here is 18, oh, so this is how the condition works. You give your condition, and then you use the first value must be a true value. The first value is the true value, the second value is the false value in manipulating this condition. So let me show you how it works. Let me give an output. So node script.js, it will output an adult. Why? Because the age we gave it here is 18. So if I give it 20 now, 20. No. We've tested for adults. Let's test for the false value. So if I give it 5, the age of the person is 5. Node script.js. So you can see minor, because if the number is below 18, the number is below 18. If we now bring it back to 25 and then run our code, node script.js, the person is now an adult. Now this is how a ternary operator operates. The reason behind the ternary operator is to avoid complex conditions or nested ternary operations. Keep it simple. The ternary operator, again, is defined as a concise way to write conditional statements in JavaScript. Yes. Does anyone have any question thus far? Does anyone have any question? I can't believe that. Can anyone still hear me?
You are clear, sir.
Everything is not clear. Everything is not clear. So
So we are hoping that
we are
hoping that as we go over them
maybe
again, we have better understanding.
Okay. So here's the thing, right? That's why I want us to have this weekly stuff. This weekly stuff now would enable us hop on projects. Now, please, I want to encourage us, when we would put a poll on the group, and then I'll appoint 2 persons to be in charge of it. Because I have a whole lot on my table. I'm the one that is bringing out the vision so that it outlives this whole cohort. Yes, so even when the cohort ends, we'll be having something like that. If you're interested, it's not by force. There's no attendance to it, so it's not by force. Please don't join if you know you won't engage. The purpose for that class is not a class. I don't like to use the word class. The purpose for that meeting is to actually improve our knowledge on this JavaScript concept. Use them to build things. Now, when you're joining that call, join that call with a good internet. Everybody would contribute. Everybody on that meeting call. I would appoint 2 persons that would take lead of that particular activity this week, and then all they'll do is just prompt me, okay, you create the whole meeting time, and then I'll come in, and then I'll be with you like a normal student. We would answer each other's questions and we'll build things. We'll create a repo for each particular project we build, and then everybody will contribute to it. That would be fun. That way, it will give you a first-hand experience of working in a company where you can have 20 programmers like you and you contribute to the team. So whenever you write your code on your laptop, you send it to GitHub, and then someone performs a PRO. you do a pull request, and then you get your code reviewed and accepted. So that will give you it's like an internship, but with your team mates, like with your colleagues who you're learning with. Does it make sense? I think it makes sense. That's the best I can do. Because if I tell you guys, oh, learn on your own, message me, let me correct you, and all of that, I think I might not answer everybody. But if we are together doing something interesting, it will engage us more. All right, so the next thing we are learning is destructuring. Destructuring. All of this I'm teaching, I think I will go over them again during the week. Yes, including the whole assignment thingy, I'll go over them. Destructuring. Yes. Now, destructuring in JavaScript. Let me clear this code. Destructuring in JavaScript is a syntax that allows you to extract values or object assigned to a variable. Destructuring in JavaScript is a syntax. It's a way. It is a method that allows you to extract values from an array or object and then assign them to a variable. What am I trying to say? It is like a moving vehicle. It's like, okay, no, not a moving vehicle. It's like, okay, very simple example. It's like 5 individuals in a house, you get, and then there's a house, another house close by. You go inside that house, bring all of them inside the house, and then take them into that new house. That's what destructuring means. I want to actually believe that with the type of examples I give, you tend to understand it with each concept I relate to you. That will make it easier for you to understand. Don't mind the big English, template, literal, destructuring, ternary operator. So destructuring is bringing people from one house into another house. Yes. I don't think I like that concept, but let me use another one. Destructuring is going into a house and then cloning the people inside that house to use those same kind of people, then taking them into another house. What I mean is, those people will still remain inside that old house, so, but you go inside the house, clone them to be like another person, but they'll still be that same, they'll look the same and everything. Then you take them out of that house. So take those ones you've created, you've cloned, take them into a new house. That's what destructuring means. You're not creating, sorry, you're just taking an existing data and assigning it into a new variable. I hope this makes sense. So let's do some practical examples. So for instance, let's say we have an array of numbers. Udashi, you said we should use more of numbers. So it's like you love maths very well. So let's be using numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, so this is an array of numbers. This is a house, just like I've said, this is a house. Now, let's create a new house. Okay, let's create a new house using this array. Okay, let me just use A, B, C, D, E. Yeah, A, B, C, D, E, E. So we now initialize it equals to numbers. Console.log. All right. It's getting more and more interesting as the day goes by. So we have this destructuring data. Const numbers equals to this array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now destructuring, what does destructuring do? Destructuring allows you to assign values inside an array into a new value. As simple as that. You don't need to do too much. You have this um, data. You can see that I've assigned A to 1, I've assigned B to 2, I've assigned C to 3. So whenever you output each of them, you would now get what you'll be getting is these data inside of the numbers. That's how it works. Now let's do something more interesting. Let's have const person equals to name John, age 30 or 35, anyone. So this is an object, right? This is an object. So const name, age, initialize it now, person, as usual. So let's console.log person. Node script.js. So you can see, no. I need just name. Don't console log the entire, yeah, console log just name. Thank you. Node script.js. Correct. Very clean and smooth. So as usual, you create your data. This is an object actually. This is an object, a name called John, John's age, which is 35, and then you go on to do your destructuring. I created another variable. No, I did not really a variable, but I did the whole destructuring. I initialized these into the person. Yep. So John. So whenever I pick up name, it outputs John. This is how destructuring works. Let me take in questions for the rest of this class. I will teach on spread operators. I think I've overloaded those. I've talked about ternary operator today, destructuring, template literals, and template literal, destructuring, and these. So I will stop here for today. Let's digest this one. Let me take in questions. Who has questions?
I have a question.
Go on.
So for this array, you use the bracket, but for the object, you use curly braces.
Yeah.
Why is it? You can choose any bracket.
No, you don't have a choice. You don't have a choice in this scenario. The difference between this is how your computer recognizes your program. When when your computer is translating, when your code is being translated to the computer, this when creating an object. I think I taught us how to create an object in our last few classes. So, yeah, some time ago. So when you create, once this curly braces turns to this other one, just a second. This is no longer an object, it is called an array. When you use this particular bracket, it's no longer an object. This is now an array. And inside of an array, you cannot do these things I'm doing here. Array does not accept this. I will not write name, John, age. You can't do this inside an array. You can only do this inside an object. And when you're creating an object, you use the curly braces. You use the curly braces brackets to actually create your object. Does it make sense?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. Who has questions? Who has questions? So guys, I just marked few persons' own. All your assignment, once you wake up tomorrow morning, your assignments would be your scores will be with you. Yes, the deadline was yesterday, so today would be the marking. I will go through your assignments, mark them so you can see your scores, and then you would also see on your dashboard the assignment for this week. Don't worry, the assignment for this week would be for you to go through all of this we have learned. Yes, so that you can actually allow it to stick to you. Who has questions? Let me open our attendance while we are discussing.
I thought deadline would be 4th May.
4th May. So here's the thing. Today is 3rd, right? Today is 4th, right?
Today is 3rd.
Yes. Today is 4th. What happens is that it's actually the deadline triggers 1 a.m. on that particular deadline day. So if the deadline is, let me check our assignments. So the deadline is 4th of May. 4th of May. It's triggered 1 a.m. early this morning. That's how it works. I think I've explained this thing before. It triggered 1 a.m. So currently now no one can submit anymore. Is it understandable now? Guys, your assignments, your attendance is open. You could log in and then you can log in and.
So I think besides that, there's even a counter that should guide them.
Please, I have a question.
There's a what? There's a what?
Please, I have a question.
Go on.
Okay.
On the dashboard, there's a counter. There's a time counter there. The number of days.
Okay. Someone said he has a question.
Yes,
What's your question?
Yes, Paul is my name.
Okay. Oh, Paul.
Yes.
You were calling me Paul. Everybody, let me report Paul. Paul was actually, maybe because he has sent messages. So Paul said I would take my this in by force. Paul was calling me. He called me the first time, and I think I did not pick. The two of us, we quarreled last night. So Paul, let me hear from you. Let me defend myself before you take me to the cleaners.
Sorry for disturbing you over the call.
No, you are not disturbed. I'm just being sarcastic. Don't worry, you could go on.
There are two observations that I want to talk about. Number one is the scores on the platform where somebody is already and something and all that.
Exactly.
So you said you are going to work on it.
So that I can't hear you well. Can you speak up loudly?
Okay. Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
I was saying that the scores on the platform. You said you were going to work on it for somebody was already around 300 and something.